to the shoreline. I walked the manor fearlessly in those days, but now there are horseless carriages that run up and down this black shiny road. What do they call that roadway? It didn't exist in my time. But the manor did consist of 1,200 acres back then. The house still remains the same as it did when I was here, with a few additions to it, but it's still relatively the same. My family hails from Rhode Island. We moved to Shelter Island when I was a child. My father's Captain James Hazen, and my mother is Elizabeth Thompson. I came here to make a life for myself, my husband, my family. I married Jonathan Thompson, who saw my father-in-law, or his spirit, actually, a few minutes ago. He married July 4th, 1876. Can you imagine that? 1776. Oh my goodness, my mind is really foggy. I can't recall the dates right now. Been lying here for so many years. Can't remember anything. He was the son of Jonathan Thompson and Mary Smith Gardner. He inherited his land. He was the firstborn son of Isaac, and as you know, the firstborn son got everything. But it wasn't until 1803 that he was appointed the General Republican chairperson. So we had to move into the city to achieve this position. So he spent many years in the city. And in 1813, as I recall, he became Collector of Direct Taxes. He was appointed by President James Monroe. Can you imagine? Of course, that position didn't last very long. It ended in, he started in 1813 and ended in 1819. But because he was so accurate, so efficient, he became the customs collector for the Port Authority of New York. And perhaps, if you go into the manor, you've seen his campaign desk. The little mail slots contain the names of Madison, Monroe, and Jefferson. Can you imagine? They came to the Port of New York to collect the taxes. He was so good at doing this that he was reappointed by President John Quincy Adams. He was held in such high esteem that he was intimate friends with 5 presidents. So as you can see, we led a really high society life in the city. But in the warmer months, when it got too hot in the city, and of course it was terrible, we had animals roaming around the streets, and we had raw sewage all over the place. Oh, what a smell. And because we were so closely populated, can you imagine the diseases? The consumption, the typhoid, the cholera, it's terrible. We had to get away. But in the meantime, I had born 7 children, and living just one of them, Junius. And where is he? Oh, he's right here, lying beside me still. He was educated at Columbia University. He was a trained physician. So my family was highly intelligent. Isn't that great? We raised such great kids. So anyway, I remember fondly the times I spent here at the manor, and recalled, although I was too young at that time, my father-in-law, Judge Isaac Thompson, and his escapades with the British here on the manor when they billeted it. He talked about how he almost got hung. Of course, you've heard that from my father-in-law, and how the basketball really missed him. But he also talked about the great savior of our country, President George Washington, and how he spent the night here, April 21st, 1790. And he joked about how he did charge President Washington for staying at the manor. Can you imagine that? Here he is, our first president, and you're charging him to stay at the manor. Well, we joke about it all the time. But I've lived through many, many other occurrences. Of course, I lived a longer life. So I recall briefly the War of 1812, how we got through that. And then, oh my God, the secession that we had. I read about accounts of it in the newspaper, and of course, we survived that. I want to tell you a little bit about our cemetery here. Of course, the change of management, a change of family members. We do not longer bury our family here in the cemetery. Of course, there's plenty more room. But here I lie and I rest. I was alive for 95 years and 22 months. As you can see, the monument that they put up for me, isn't it astonishing? It's Victorian in nature. See the urn up here with the overflowing cloth? It means that I had a very long and fruitful life. They say that I was intelligent, that I made big contributions, and I had a very good long life. Now, because we don't bury anybody in the cemetery, my great-grandson, Abraham, is buried in Oakwood Cemetery in Bayshore. He was a trained physician. Of course, you might have seen his portrait in the manor when you went through. And if you haven't, make sure you see them in the Red Room. So I wish everybody a very long and fruitful life, and maybe I'll see you on the other side.